Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all the crap we love to talk about on ye old brovs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I am fabulous. You know, here we are midweek, season finale, Beverly Hills. Very exciting times.
It really is, you guys. A lot of Beverly Hills stuff to talk about today. We are on tour. We're in the thick of it right now. The Mounting Hysteria tour. This weekend, we are going to be in Washington, D.C. Whoa. And then followed by that, we're going to be at the Philadelphia Fillmore, okay? In Philadelphia. And in Washington, we're going to be doing Summer House.
Yes.
And
Washington is Southern Charm.
Washington is Southern Charm, and then in Philadelphia, we're doing Summer House, okay? You know what? And the following week, we're going to be other places. We're going to be in Boston, Detroit, Chicago. Chicago sold out. Sorry, okay? You know what? Yeah. You should have got your tickets earlier because it's sold out. But then after, we're going to go to Emo's in Austin and the Dallas, Texas Theater in Dallas and Las Vegas, which is going to be super, super fun. So get your tickets over at Watch.
I didn't realize we're going to the Dallas Theater or the Texas Theater because I love to trumpet this stat that when Watch What Crappens went to the Texas Theater in Dallas back in, 2019 or so, we broke the record for the most cocktails served in one night at that theater. And this is the same theater where what's-his-face was arrested, the guy who assassinated JFK. So there's two notches of history in that theater. One is that they arrested the assassin of JFK there, and two is that Watch What Crappens sold most drinks ever in one night there. So
big history.
Come be part of history again.
Big history. Let's repeat history. Come buy a lot of alcohol, but let's not find any murderers, hopefully.
Yeah, no murderers welcome.
Yeah. So that should be super fun. Also, we're doing White Lotus recaps over on Patreon. We did a catch up just for the past 6 episodes, but then we're going to do recaps for episodes 7 and 8. So join Patreon for that. It's also where you get video recaps like this one. Hi, we're on video.
Yeah, hi.
You might see me throwing my throat directly to the camera to show off my beautiful strep throat, which I've proudly received, probably from hugging one of you fuckers at these meet and greets.
I can't believe you're recording today with strep throat. That's wild.
I actually
dedication to the craft.
I'm surprised it doesn't hurt more to talk because it hurts like F to swallow. Oh my God. Knives. Okay, I've swallowed knives.
Yeah, I really do think you should get some Tylenol because that will help. I am very impressed with your resilience right now.
Well, you know what is helping? Ice cream. Good old-fashioned Creamy Creations by HEB.
Yeah.
But, that's I'm going to end up maybe feeling a little bit better for 5 minutes, but with a bigger muffin top. But guess what? Worth it. Worth every calorie. Creamy Creations. Okay, so let's get to it. We are on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season finale. Wow.
Yes. And I got people.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm about to say I have people that are angry at me. Speaking of Beverly Hills,
I don't believe it.
Yes. It's
you
true.
never have people
it's
angry
true.
at you. I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens.
Are you sure they just didn't get us confused?
Well, apparently, I have the reputation for being the quote-unquote sweet one, the nice one, which is hilarious. No, so yesterday, I didn't even realize that this was season finale because last week ended with a to be continued, and there was no next week on the season finale, and I didn't see any promo over the course of the week saying anything until yesterday late afternoon. There was an article about Jennifer Tilly in the New York Times that said that the season finale was tonight, and I was like, surely they're mistaken. Anyway, the point is this. Bravo posted the reunion trailer on their Instagram account, like shortly after that. And so I was watching the reunion trailer, which was very good. And there's one part in it where Dorit is like, she thinks she's the queen of Sheba. She lives on a main road. And I thought that was so funny. Just be like, she lives on a main road. Like, how horrifying, how embarrassing. And of course, coming from Dorit of all people, who like went to like the Dollar Tree with $30,000 and got robbed.
And is literally about to be living on a main road, like on the sidewalk of it. Ma'am.
Yes. But to me, it was so, I literally let out such a laugh because it's such a funny thing to say. So I wrote a comment on the Bravo Instagram, and I said something to the effect of, in fact, I have it right here. I said, "Is you live on a main road the new high body count hair?" Meaning like a wild thing that a Real Housewife would say. That's like made
Yeah,
me
like
laugh.
a new diss.
People did not like that.
Really? What they
Because
say?
they thought that I was, well, first of all, no, a lot of people did like it. It got 669 likes, so you know what? It was a good comment. It was well received by and large, but a lot of people interpreted that as me being Team Dorit over Team Sutton. I believe. I think they thought I was like, good burn, Dorit. And so people are like, but Sutton's house didn't get broken into, or they would say things like not even close, or like, no, you're stupid, how could you even be saying that? It was supposed to be more like, supposed to land more like the wallet comment, and they're like criticizing me for even finding humor in this moment, to which I say, people, if you don't find that main road joke funny, main road comment funny, you have to really reconsider, because it was hilarious, and I'm gonna say that right now.
Reconsider being a Housewives fan. You know, it
Recon-
doesn't need to be that
reconsider being a
serious,
fan.
you guys. Calm
You don't have to be on their
yourselves down.
team. Like, it was hilarious. It was a hilarious, obnoxious comment. So I just loved how many people were mad at me about that.
Triggered. Yeah, I was reading Facebook comments today just for fun, just general Facebook comments. And God, people on Facebook are way meaner than they are on other places. I mean, and it's weird because like on Reddit, everyone's Team Garcelle, which, you know, kind of aligns with me more, basically. And then you go to Facebook and I'm like, damn, people are so hateful on there. My God. What happened to Facebook? That used to be a fun place in life.
Yeah, I think, like, so, Garcelle left Beverly Hills. She announced it yesterday. And the thing is that I think that, like, everywhere I've seen, people have been, like, largely very supportive of her. There's, like, on Twitter, a lot of people are like, what is Sutton going to do without Garcelle now? Da, 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 da. And everyone's like, Garcelle should have left anyway. So I feel like I've seen a very large groundswell, but I'm not surprised that there are people who are being obnoxious about her leaving.
Well, no one has been more obnoxious than Erica on Watch What Happens Live. And I have to say, Bose too. Bose didn't have a great performance on that one either. And I've really enjoyed Bose, but I was turning on her pretty quickly last night because Andy had them both on and said, so Garcelle announced she's leaving. Any reactions? And they both just sat up straight and looked straight ahead and wouldn't speak. And then the audience kind of laughed uncomfortably. And he said, no reactions. And they just stood straight ahead. And he said, come on, seriously, you're not going to say anything? And Bose was like, well, I hope that she would have stuck it out. And Erica said something like, he does, I can't quote it right. I forgot the quote, but it was something like, he does do it, or something like that. And I went on a Reddit thread to see what the fuck she said, because it was hard to understand. And basically people were saying like, God listens to your prayers or something. And I was like, oh, okay, Erica. God forbid someone ask you about your fucking scammy ass life with Tom Girardi. And then she said, yeah, well, Garcelle had been on Watch What Happens a couple weeks ago and said that she married for love and Erica married for money. And that was the difference in their marriage. So that was like her shade. And so Andy asked her about that. And Erica said, well, we both married two old, ugly white guys who cheated on us. And that was like her big diss. I'm sorry, but you are the only one who married an old, ugly white guy. Compare the pictures, ma'am. Compare the pictures to her ex and your ex, okay? And also maybe compare the fact that her ex hasn't robbed poor people to fund your stupid, shitty, talentless career. You asshole, Erica Jane. And I had to remind myself, kind of like you were just talking about, like, you don't need to be this angry. So I just turned off Watch What Happens. It's like, fuck that chick, man. She is vile. She's still vile. I just thought, what a cold cookie. You know, I was so angry I came up with a Papa quote. I was like, that is one cold character.
Well, Twitter has been coming for Erica a lot because, you know, in the trailer for the reunion, there's like something, I don't remember the exact quote, but there's something Erica says something to Garcelle along the lines of like, you're boring, or you don't have like, you're not interesting, or something
I
like
wish
that.
you had been more
And so,
interesting, she said.
yeah, I wish you'd been more interesting.
Erica,
and
like
people,
spoken for the freezer section. Like, who are you talking
yeah,
about?
people
What have you
online
ever
keep
done?
on saying, like, Erica, your storyline this season was wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
And literally that has been like, it's people just like, if you look up Erica and wallpaper, there are so many tweets about just dragging her about her wallpaper. Like, really, like, your storyline is wallpaper.
Yeah, and that was one of the questions on Watch What Happens. He said, Sarah from Q's wants to know, how could you call someone boring? You don't share your life or who you're dating. And Erica's like, share my life. I got divorced on this show. I went through my worst period on this show. Erica, you didn't share shit about that. All you did was you came on and you lied about it. And then you tried to give Tom an alibi. And then you tried to give Tom a defense by amnesia, dyslexia, what am I going for? Dementia. You tried to get Tom off the hook millions of times. Then you said, fuck those poor people. I don't care about them. I only care about myself. You haven't shared shit except stolen money on this show, ma'am. And I hope Marco continue to ground your ass until there is none left. You don't deserve shit, Erica. You are a piece of shit, woman. You're a nasty character.
The tweets are really funny. I mean, one person named Carbonite says, Erica, wallpaper and lines added to your rental. That's interesting. Okay, girl. Someone else says, so glad Erica is telling everyone Garcelle didn't give us anything while she showed us a wallpaper in her rental casita.
Yeah, and then another one of her lines is like, you're going to have to do more than buy a beach house in Bakersfield. And everyone was like, ooh, well, better than living in a rental that Rush Limbaugh lookalike Tom Girardi's friend got you, Erica.
It's just so funny that like wallpaper has become the thing that has like that has become the symbol of Erica's storyline, because she did a lot of things to that casita, but it's like at the end of the day though, like wallpaper somehow like just is the concept that somehow summarizes everything that happened in her season, which is that she put up a big old thing to cover up something else.
That was it. That's basically an allegory for her entire time on this show.
But by the way, I thought Erica had a great season. I thought she was actually like, I enjoyed her this season, and she's villainous, yes, but I think that she is good. However, where I get annoyed with Erica are these moments when she accuses someone of being boring and not sharing, when she really has never truly shared. She's been the brunt of accusations, but she hasn't shared. We still have yet to meet an actual friend of hers outside of this group. Like, we don't know really what like life is like for her, other than like stepping into this alternate persona that goes
or her
and
son
sings at gay clubs.
Yeah,
anything, And I think that Garcelle has actually shared quite a bit. And, I think we should have seen the writing was on the wall with Garcelle, because she is having some success with her movies, and she's being way shadier in her confessionals than ever before. And she always kind of towed that line, but she goes there a bit more, especially in tonight's episode. She's just like, you can tell, she's like, I don't fucking care about these people anymore. I'm just going to be shady now.
To be fair, and I'm sure we'll get to it a million times as the season progresses, and especially the reunion, but Garcelle did say stuff that you're going to have to answer for. I mean, she was saying stuff in her diary room about Dorit faking the robbery, about PK faking the robbery, and all of that stuff. So, I mean, of course you're going to have to answer for it. People are going to get pissed, and you're going to have to answer for it. But I just think it's Erica, of all people, such a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. Now, is Garcelle's personal life
on sharing? Because Erica got in trouble for fucking yelling at her son, which you should have in the first place, and sending all those bots after her with Renna and Diana. I mean, come on now.
I mean, is Garcelle's personal storylines, are they boring? Yes, they are.
We know. You've listened to these recaps,
but Garcelle is great, and she's the only one who says the things that we are thinking. Sutton sort of goes there, but she usually hedges. But Garcelle Garcelle says them, and she confronts in a way that no one else does on the show, and so
I
she
agree.
will be missed for sure.
I agree that her story, you know, her storylines aren't that fascinating. You know, we make fun of like, oh wow, did you buy a beach house? Because for the first 6 episodes, it was like, I'm so proud that I bought a beach house. You know, like we've made those comments too, but to say that that makes her boring is silly. I mean, she calls your ass out, and that's certainly not boring. Without her and Sutton, nobody would have ever called your asses out. So,
and I don't think
God
everyone
bless
needs to have a
Garcelle.
compelling story happening, you know, on the side. Like, I remember when Rinna's first season, I loved Rinna her first season, and people would say, but she's got nothing going on. That's why she has to go and like ask questions about the Richard sisters. Da 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 da. Da. She's got nothing going on. I'm always like, that's fine. I don't need to focus on the boring side of your life just because it's to show that you have something else going on outside the show. I care more about how you mix it up with the women and how you interact with the women. And then if there's something interesting going on in your personal life, then great, show it. But like, you know, I don't necessarily need to sit and watch scenes of people making tomato sauce or renovating a home in Oxnard.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. But the point is, I'm okay with Garcelle having a boring storyline as long as she's like good with the women.
Yeah, she brings it in the scenes. So, okay. Well, that's that. That's a nice
That was a good
preamble.
referendum.
But here we are with season 14, episode 17, A Caribbean Send-Off. So we're in St. Lucia. We're still on the boat ride from hell. Sutton is standing there with her sun hat screaming out a window what C words all these ladies are. And now she's sitting there waiting for somebody to come comfort her. And Jennifer Tilly comes over with a glass of water. She's like, here, sweetie, here's the water. I'm not going to be able to do anything today. I'm useless today. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So Sutton is still just like going through it. And then meanwhile, Erica goes swimming, you know, she's like, I'm the only one. Okay, the only water in the world that I get into, I don't even go in the Mediterranean, okay? It's this water, Caribbean water. Caribbean, I don't do Atlantic, I don't do Pacific, I only do Caribbean. I'm like, well, thank you for your Yelp review on Seas of the World. Oceans and Seas of the World.
Erica just here to remind us that she's been to every sea in the world, you know, on poor people's backs. So she's like, well, the Pacific, you know, that was at home. I don't go to the Atlantic. We got a few trips to there off a few burn victims. And, you know, I've been to the Caribbean a few times. It's the warmest water, and that came from royalties off a gas explosion. So it's been a great trip around the world. So she's swimming in the water, and Bose and Garcelle are talking, and Garcelle's like, well, she looks beautiful, but who's going in if somebody pulls her under, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Erica's just still paddling along. You guys are lame. I'm the only one out here. So Garcelle is like, well, Sutton hates her now. And Bo's like, bloop. Well, yes, Sutton hates everybody now. And then they just kind of like laugh. And we go back to Sutton, who's like, it's like Satan came on the boat and said, this is why you're in hell. Let me just remind you. Well, thank you, Satan, because I'd forgotten. I forgot she said that, and reading it back, it's so perfectly Sutton and overdramatic. I love her.
So Kyle is now swimming with her, and Dorit's standing on the little boat dock doing that, like, I'm just a goyle. How am I supposed to be expected to swim? It's terrifying. I'm a goyle. But she does. She does a very poor dive into the water. And then Kyle's like, oh my God, I'm not even going to buy you a Birkin if you get in. Reference to a great season.
So now Jennifer and Sutton are talking, and Jennifer's like, do you know what? It's kind of like when you're on a fox hunt and the dogs find the fox and then they're all surrounding the fox and then yap, 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 yap. And the fox is like, oh my God, there's too many of you. And Sutton's like, well, that's how they fight. A bunch of foxes on a hunt from Satan foxes. And Jennifer's like, well, I'm not surprised that Erica is like criticizing Sutton. And then we see flashbacks of that, and Jennifer's like, I can see both sides, but you know, obviously I'm Sutton's friend, and so I'm going to have Sutton's back, and I'm not going to be like, Erica's right, but you need to examine your own behavior, little missy, because I'm on her side.
Yeah, you know, I'm really kind of astonished at how much girls don't like you, Sutton. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. Make me feel a lot better. Lot better.
So meanwhile, back to Bose and Garcelle. Bose is like, how are we supposed to be a group if you have two people that are nice? How does that actually work? Bloop. And Garcelle is like, well, let's see. Am I right? She's like, girl. She's like, well, let's just see what that looks like. I'll just say it again so that way you can take the next line. She's like, well, is that the chairman's reserve talking? Yes, it is. Ha.
Well, hold on. Let me give some response to this. Bloop. Bloop. What?
So now they're back, and the boat comes back and everything, and they get off and everything, and now they're gonna go back to the hotel, and now it's time for a glam montage where they're all sitting in their chairs, and Kathy is she's setting up her own station and doing her whole like everything to her face, and it's very exciting for all of them.
Kathy's iconic moment today, just from a breathless gay point of view. Kathy eats Cheetos. Oh my God. Tell your friends about it. They're like, close up on those Cheetos. We need America to know that Kathy eats Cheetos. So she's just walking around eating her Cheetos.
Yes. So Bose is like, well, tonight I'm going for a super celebration, Nico. And Nico's like, because we are going to do a birthday dinner for Erica and Dorit. Nico, are you bedazzling the wall? No. Well, then do it, because I want everything bedazzled in here. Oh, sorry. So she's basically like, Bose is like, well, morale is low after earlier today, and she's like, she just wants to make things fun, and so they're gonna go to the beach because there's a whole bunch of vendors there. There's jewelry, there's food, there's a steel drum band, so it's gonna be like a whole big fun bazaar.
One of my favorite things about this episode is they keep saying things like, well, it was a rough day, and then it just keeps cutting back to Sutton going, what do you fucking want from me? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Sutton losing it. So yeah, they're gonna go basically street shopping. So she's like, I want to reflect the energy of Saint Lucia. So then we go to get Sutton's hair done, and she's with Jennifer, and she's like, well, do you think you're gonna be able to have a good time tonight? And she's like, well, as long as I can stay away from those two people. I think I'm a terrible person, which I'm not. I'll be fine. I just wanted to restate that I'm not a terrible person. Sutton, you are so immature. It's painful to watch, Sutton. I love it. I love when Sutton's unhinged because there's nobody in their right mind who can stick up for Sutton, you know? And that's almost why you gotta love Sutton. She's just so helplessly awful.
Yeah, I mean, like I love Sutton, and I'm fully on her side, but I also think it's hilarious that she has no sense of accountability of like her contributions to this entire situation. Because the truth is, she was part of this. She did start up a fight with Dorit in the beginning of the season, right after she made this whole thing about sisterhood, and she did call Dorit a bitch in her home, and she is part of this as well. But like at the end of the day, she's just funnier when she's mad. So I'm just gonna take her side because I think also
she keeps losing it. She's just so immature, and it's like when there's a baby on the plane. Nobody wants a baby on the plane, and then inevitably the baby starts crying, and you see people turn around and give a dirty look to the baby, and you're like, God, I want that to be me. I want to turn around and give a dirty look to the baby, but ultimately you have to blame the mom. So I say let's just bring Reba to the reunion and let's excoriate her. This is a case where I just find Sutton to be a cat-eyed, evil little baby, where she just hasn't matured to the point where I can blame her yet.
Yeah, I love to blame the mom. Although sometimes it's also fair. Like at some point the kid gets a little bit of some of it, because when we were flying to Toronto 2 weeks ago, there was like this awful child in front of you who you didn't really see how awful the child was because they were right in front of you. But because I was across the aisle, I had a diagonal view, and this kid was probably like 3 years old and incessantly kicking the seat in front of her, and she was pulling down the tray up and down, and she was being loud, she was screaming, she was making so much noise, and the mom eventually handled it, but like she couldn't handle it because there were logistical reasons why the mom couldn't handle it, but the mom was also just not saying anything or doing anything. And this kid was being wild. At one point, the kid was also like, every time she did something wild, she would smile, like, look at me. And at one point she smiled and she looked back at me, and I gave this child the meanest death stare. And of course I was wearing a mask, so it was like a death stare across of a mask. And she like was smiling at me, and she like locked eyes with me. And then she was like smiling, and then she realized I was like staring at her with like rage, and her smile just kind of like just sort of drooped down, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you don't look, you stop kicking that seat. And it was like, it felt great. It felt great to be like, I am going to shame this child on some level for kicking that seat so much.
It's like, name him. Name him, kick. Name him, kick.
I was giving her full on Sutton energy. I was like, what you have done to me, young child, I am going to squint at you. I am going to squint. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to squint.
But at about, 50 years and $300 million, you would have been like, oh my God, you are iconic. You'd have been like filming her on your TikTok.
Yes, she's just too young to act like this. She hasn't earned her bad behavior. But once she does.
Divorced. You haven't earned this yet, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You're just a 3-year-old.
So
great.
Erica is like,
Oh my God. In the sense of sisterhood, I thought we could bring everything to the table. So I said what I had to say on the boat. But, I don't have any ill will towards Sutton. I'd like for Sutton to acknowledge what's going on. And that's it.
okay, Erica, you want an apology. You're not going to get a fucking apology. Your news story was everywhere. They had to bring it up. Nobody else had the guts to bring it up.
Yes.
And she brought it up, period. That's the end. And guess what? You handled it terribly and you look like a fucking asshole. And the only reason you've had a good season this year is because you shut your mouth. And now you're ruining it all at the end. No one feels for you, Erica, okay? Nobody.
Well, and also don't forget that they set Sutton up to be the sacrificial lamb because they all talked about it behind Erica's back to Reed and Kyle, everyone. And Sutton was the one who asked the questions, and then they all just stood back there like, oh my God, that's crazy. And so Sutton took the brunt of it, and Sutton was not really the best person to, because she didn't really ask the questions with conviction. She just was trying to be nice about it. So then Erica, of course, sensed weakness and then attacked. But the truth is that Erica, for as much as she talks about being open and honest and discussing it all, she certainly did not like it when people were asking her questions about something that was happening that was very much in her life and needed to be addressed. Right. And it was just all bullshit.
And the other ones did ask her. I mean, Dorit and Kyle did get their licks in there, but Erica doesn't go to that because they still are part of that the final 5, the Fox Force 5 or whatever, So they're still riding that. So Jennifer Tilly's like,
Well, it almost seemed very rehearsed because Erica was like, da-da-da-da-da, like a lawyer in a court that had all of their points prepped out. I think there's an alliance between some of the ladies, and when Erica and Dorit go after one person and they dovetail together, I think they planned it.
Mm-hmm. And so now Erica is, we see a flashback of their confrontation. And so Jennifer's like,
It just seems like they had discussed it beforehand. Like it's kind of like a little suspect.
so then.
by the way, they did discuss it beforehand. We saw it on the show. So they don't like to call it, we planned it. Like they didn't say, okay, you say this and then I'm going to say this. But they did sit down and they were like, fuck that chick. She can do whatever she wants. Why should, they talked about it and then they went and did it. So I don't understand what the big accusation is that's so offensive to Erica later on in the episode,
Now, to be fair, we also saw Sutton and Garcelle literally plan a confrontation about Morgan Wade. So, well, I'm not going to say what goes around comes around, but it's not like Sutton is so innocent on this front either. Of course, their confrontation failed because Sutton didn't do her part of the confrontation. But
I think in both situations, it's natural to talk to your friends about who you're pissed off about. And then...
Yes. And say, you know what, back me up, do this. So much of the show is like, back me up when I say this. Literally, Sutton's whole gripe is that she wants that backup. So, so either way, they think that there's a coordinated attack and everything. Meanwhile, Kathy has announced that she's going to wear shorts and a t-shirt to the beach thing tonight, which is hilarious because ultimately they all go out to this beach wearing these big, beautiful, flowy dresses, and Kathy's just in a green t-shirt and shorts and a little hat, which is like, that's the sign of true wealth right there. She's like, I don't even have to bother. I don't have to flaunt anything. I know my wealth. I'm just going to wear a t-shirt, a free t-shirt probably.
Yeah. So Garcelle goes to Sutton and she's like, hi, I hope you're feeling better. I just wanted to mention, I don't know if you noticed, but Kyle didn't stand up for you today. Wow. What do you think of that? And she's like, well, we had a really good weekend in Augusta. You remember she ate a carb? She ate a carb for me in that restaurant. She didn't have to do that. I thought we were going to be best friends forever,
So to be so set back with Kyle, I've had enough. I've never had anyone come to me and say, I would really like to apologize to you. I was tough on you. Never. They want to break me. They've been wanting to break me for years. Let the mouse go.
And then we have this amazing montage of them just yelling at Sutton, scolding her and yelling her. And then when it's not like just like the typical 1, 2, 3 beat, it was like a long endless montage that turned into a mosaic on the screen, and it had to be like 10 minutes. It was just going and going. I was like, shut up, Sutton. You be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about, Sutton. Sutton, why would you do that? You're being such a fucking bitch. And she's like, in every clip. It was fantastic.
Be
piece
quiet,
of,
Miss Smalltown.
post-production.
I'm worried about my motherfucking reputation. Nah, you shut up.
And the Erica gets into her diction, you know?
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Nothing. Shut up.
Yeah.
They even
and
brought
Brenna
up
going,
Brenna
yeah, you
clips.
talk out of both sides of your mouth, too. You know what? Fuck you.
And also, how are you? Fuck you. But how are you? So we just see it goes on for so long that like as I scroll through the flashbacks, it's taking like, as long to scroll through them as it does to actually, watch it. So then Sutton's like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just can't do this. So Garcelle's like, well, I'm not saying Sutton is innocent. I mean, has Sutton put her foot in her mouth with this group? Absolutely. And then they kind of like go all the way back and they're like, by the way, here's the greater context for all those clips. We see Sutton being horrible in each situation right beforehand.
Yeah.
Which is also great. It's very Rashomon.
Yes. Yeah, it's very good. So then Garcelle's like, but when she's angry, she feels like she's being cornered. And I just needed another montage of Sutton literally in the corner, being like, name him, 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 name him. So Jennifer comes in to talk to Garcelle, and she's like,
What happened? I saw Sutton running into the bedroom.
and she's like, oh, we just talked about the boat, and how Kyle's not supporting her like she supports Kyle. I mean, I don't know where that came up. Maybe one of the makeup people said it. I don't remember. Oh, hold on. Do you have? Just let me leave a voice message for Sutton really quick. Hi, Sutton. I just wanted to send you my support while you're getting your makeup on, and just wanted to note that Kyle's not supporting you right now as you get your makeup done. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Sutton. This is Garcelle. I have a message from you. You need to just trust this process and just fall backwards. Fall backwards into a trust fall. Okay, I heard you just crashed onto the floor. Notice that Kyle was not there to have your back.
So Garcelle is like, Jennifer's saying,
Well, it seems like Sutton just really wants Kyle to like her.
and she's like, duh. So then Garcelle's saying, she'd rather be loyal to Erica and Dorit before she is to Sutton, but Sutton refuses to see that Kyle is this way. And Jennifer's like,
It's like a bad relationship or a bad marriage. You think that they've accepted the apology and you've moved on and you're in a different place, and then to have it all thrown back in your face and not even get a piece of a cartoon empire, it's just very hurtful.
Yeah, and I think that's like one thing that like is definitely fucking with Sutton is the fact that she will have a hysterical outburst, because when she's cornered, she lashes out, and then she thinks that she has mended things and everything's okay, and then it turns out nothing is mended, and they attack her again, and that is frustrating. Although maybe work on the outbursts too. Again, this comes from a place of love because I love Sutton. She's my favorite on the show, but she could work on those outbursts.
Well,
Although don't
Sutton's
work on them
ridiculous.
because then you're not going to be as good on the show.
yeah, Sutton's just ridiculous. It's her reaction to everything that's the problem. I mean, Sutton could handle these people so easily if she was just like, look how Jennifer Tilly handles it later. She just handles Erica fine. And Erica was thinking she's having like a big dynasty moment. Like,
Now, who said it? You or you? So, sorry if it hurt your feelings, but unfortunately I'm carrying the weight of all these $100,000 bags right now, and I don't have time to worry about it, poor person. I'll donate to Planned Parenthood or something later, any charity that you would like.
Yeah. I mean, I think the issue for Sutton is that at the core of it, it's that Kyle is kind of the queen bee of the cool girls in her mind. Like the Fox Force 5, they are a clique, and it's not that Kyle is more famous because Garcelle is more famous than Kyle. And then it's like, it's not that like Kyle is so rich because Jennifer is is wealthier. It's just that like they have this clique on the show, and I think that Sutton carries some damage from like high school or middle school where she wasn't in with like the popular group, and she just wants to be accepted with it, and she feels like I'm doing all the things. I'm wealthy. I'm cute. I'm fun. Like I'm bringing them nice things. Like why can't I ever be truly part of this group? And that's all she wants, is to be part of a group, because I think it ties back to some sort of high school issue, and that's like a void that is just not going to be fulfilled. And the thing is, what she doesn't realize is that for the past few years, Sutton has been actually in the center of the group that we, the audience, has found to be the cooler one. You know, when it was Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal, and then this year it's Garcelle, Sutton, and Jennifer Tilly. Like that is the group that we as the audience love and would want to hang out with more. And she doesn't realize that she actually has it all. But I think her own damage is getting
Well,
in the
maybe
way,
a
as
portion
usual.
of the audience, but you know, then you look at her adult life, and she became rich, you know, because she was married really rich. Not saying she didn't deserve that, but it's like her husband is incredibly rich. So she had access to all these things where she was basically going to like the Elton John, you know, Oscar party every year, and then giving tickets to people like Lisa Rinna to try and kind of buy their friendship and be a part of the cool group. And then finally she did it enough where Rinna suggested her as someone to be on this show. So then finally she got into this show, and she was always kind of looked at the joke on this show by all the people. It's like, you're wealthy, but you're not like, no one's going to pretend you're a cool girl. You know what I mean? And so she's just never gotten it. And how much money does a woman have to pay to be considered a cool girl? But it's not, you know, at the end of the day, you still have to be a likable person. And she breaks down at every given opportunity and acts like a fucking child. So
She's too
I don't know.
fragile.
One thing I really like about Sutton is that she does it all to herself. And as someone who creates my own problems, like generally I'm my own worst enemy in life. Every problem I've ever had has been my fault. Pretty much. It's not that I've never been victimized, but maybe I could have handled things better to where I could have lessened the damage. You know, I'll give myself that. But for the most part, I create all of my own problems, and it's a lot to do with attitude and emotion, over emotionally taking things. So I see where Sutton's coming from. So I still kind of root for her, even though, God
That's what
damn,
makes her
she makes it
relatable.
hard sometimes.
No, but that's what also makes her totally relatable, because as so many of us do that, and so many of us have like emotional moments, and to see her not be able to control her emotions on this show has always been the most appealing part. Not because it's funny to like laugh at her because she embarrasses herself, but because it's like she's very real. I think that she like can't control herself, whereas the other women, you sort of, you know, like you do feel like there is a wall up with Kyle and Erica and Dorit to a certain extent. I mean, they do let it out. They let their wall down. They are emotional, but it's not the same degree, and that's why Sutton is so appealing. And that's why, honestly, someone like Bethany Frankel, for as annoying and awful as she's become, she will always be compelling TV, because she can't help but be herself. Like she can't put on airs because she's always going to be a gaping wound. And so Sutton is so relatable in that sense. And she'll never be one of the cool girls because she doesn't have that vibe, right? Like she is too fragile. She is like, at best she's going to be like the sidekick to the cool girls, but she'll never be in that rarefied air, and she wants it so badly, so badly.
Oh, so
Oh well.
yeah. Oh well. So the ladies gather now in Bose's villa, but of course Sutton's not there because she's being a div. She's like, I need time. I need time to think about how I've been
Yeah. They're like,
shunned and excoriated by this group of women. Please, just give me time.
and so Bose is like, well, is something the matter? Where is she? And Jennifer's like, well, there's a glitch in the matrix, which I thought was actually kind of the perfect way to summarize like Sutton having a pre-dinner breakdown. It's like, there was a glitch.
There was a
glitched out. She's
glitch in the
glitching out.
Matrix, and Keanu Reeves was there, and Sutton said, Keanu, do you want to have lunch? And he said, no, you're not cool enough. She's very, very upset.
Fun fact, I was in a feature film that was directed by the directors of The Matrix. So what have you guys been doing lately?
So Sutton, they're just like saying that she's upset. And Erica's like,
So, Sutton is not there because her feelings got hurt. All I did was ask a question. You know, remember that? How you guys just used to ask me questions?
Erica, this this grudge tour that you've been on this season is getting real old real quickly. I mean, I'm allowed to keep a grudge. Like I love keeping a grudge on like I will hold a grudge for years and years on this podcast. But if you're on a reality show, you got to the grudges have to move. You got to move on. Move on.
Well, especially when the questions she's referring to were about Tom moving all of his $20 million into Erica's LLC for her stupid, pointless career when she can't even sing on key. You know what I mean? And she's like, but are you blindsided? And why is the paper saying that $20 million went into your LLC? Have you had any discussions with attorneys about the story? And this is what Erica's so worried about. Sorry, you're mad at the wrong person, lady. Be mad at Tom. Be mad at yourself for spending all that money.
I honestly, I'm a little offended, Ronnie, that you would say that Erica can't even sing, because last time I checked, she sounded pretty good during her warm-ups.
I saw a clip of her doing Chicago because she's back in Chicago now. Her dancing and her movement and her look is so good. She looks great doing the, but then this is her voice. I was like, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry, but no. I mean, if she can have a career just doing, if she can get a career just doing like hand movement, like Fosse hand movement, she's got it. She killed it, and she looks great. But please be quiet, for Christ's sake.
I honestly, I make a joke about this a lot, about how Erica has been doing the same shtick as a musician for 10 years on this show. And I'm no recording artist, no pop artist or anyone that in the lane that she's trying to be in. No one does that. People switch it up, they change it up, they change up their vibe, they change up their style, they change up their look. And she's committed to this one thing and is no, it's gonna work. And I'm just why doesn't she do something? Why doesn't she do a burlesque tour? I think she would kill it with burlesque. Just based off, what you were saying. She looks amazing. She feels very burlesque adjacent. She should do the whole, what Dita Von Teese was doing, go and just do that. Lean into your strengths. The still trying to do this whole Erica Jane thing. I mean, yeah, she's getting success from it because she's on this show, but it just feels like she's just so resistant to lean into what she's strongest at.
Erica Jane is just one of those people who saw Angeline driving around in her pink, Mustang or whatever. It's a convertible, right? Is it a Corvette? What does she drive around?
Corvette, yeah.
Yeah, her pink Corvette driving around West Hollywood, opening her trunk and selling T-shirts to the gays, and having her rich husband pay for billboards around town that say Angeline. Erica's the only person who saw that and went, that's a career that I want. That's what I want to do. And she's still doing it to this very day. So we get back to the scene, and Erica's like, sorry for asking questions. And Jennifer Tilly says,
well, she felt like everyone was attacking her. Erica started saying about the problems that the group has with her. And then, you jumped in quite a little bit, Dorit. And it just seemed like maybe it was a coordinated effort. So...
Oh, so we planned that? This is insulting. I observed something. I said it. Bottom line, to her face. And now the fact, well, I said it to her face after I said it to a lot of people beforehand. But then, now the fact that your friend is upstairs stomping her feet and won't come to dinner and no one coordinated this. Oh, I don't need to rally the troops. I know what happened to me, and I know what happened to Kyle, and I know what happened to Dorit, and it's not a coordinated attack. It's my fucking opinion.
She seems way more invested in getting to the bottom of this stupidity than she does in terms of the situation with, her husband and the fraud and the victims.
Yeah. The only part she's offended at is the coordinated part. She's like, calling me coordinated? Have you seen me rehearse?
Well, you're the one that said it. Also seemed like Dorit said the exact same thing at the same time. And she's like,
Dorit, can you get in here, please? She's like, I'm coming. Sutton thinks that what I said today, that when you said today, and what you said today, that was a coordinated attack.
Coordinated attack?
Yes, it's almost like you knew exactly what I was going to say.
Like I knew exactly what you were going to say.
It's almost like we had written the things down, and I said part A, and you said...
Part B!
I mean, it's ridiculous to say that. How dare she accuse us of being coordinated?
How dare she?
Well, first of all, I don't want to fight Sutton's battles for her. She's my friend, so I feel for her. I just think that she's spiraling right now because she felt ganged up on.
So then we see Sutton spiraling because she got ganged up on in her makeup chair.
And she's like, I have been ganged up on. And her hairstylist is like, I know, Sutton. She's like, okay, I've been beat up enough today. Okay, I've taken all I can take today. She's like twitching. So then we go back to Bose, and Garcelle steps up to defend Sutton now. She goes, well, she just feels like she's been picked on ever since she joined this group. And Erica's like,
Oh, yeah? Well, she's giving it as good as she's gotten it.
Well, Sutton can dish it, but she cannot take it. Heaven forbid you put a mirror in front of her face, and she either becomes an immediate victim or becomes borderline evil. You know what? Gee, it's fucking nauseating.
I agree with her to a point. I mean, Sutton can't take it, but neither can you, Dorit. Like, you're fine with calling her an alcoholic, and you're fine with mocking her relentlessly, but the second she says you're a bitch, you act like, oh my God, like you haven't been calling people the C word all season. You act like, oh my God, when am I going to get my 5th apology for this? So, come on.
Well, and think of all the times that Garcelle was trying to get through to Dorit last season and the season before about things that Dorit said that were maybe problematic or like that offended Garcelle. And Dorit would be like,
I'm allowed to defend myself. I don't know why you're coming at me like this. Everyone says the word attack. I mean, I didn't talk about that.
and so like,
How dare you say I don't know how to treat minorities? They raise me children. I pay them very well.
My mother has a friend who is not white.
so
I've given a minority a stick with the cloth at the end to dip into a bucket and drip all over my kitchen floor. Now, that's not love.
Garcelle's like, well, I'm not saying she's a wallflower. I'm not saying she's innocent. I've never said she was innocent, but you also expect her to be perfect. And she's like,
Well, nobody expects anyone to be perfect.
well, she just, by the way, Kyle, she wants some blind loyalty from you. And Kyle's like, 'cause Kyle thought she was on Easy Street. She had nothing to do with this argument. And she just suddenly got dragged in out of nowhere. And she's like, this is like so crazy because it was like Erica's argument. And like, now it's my fault. Hello. I had 3 lines on ER once. I don't know how I could be at fault here.
Yeah, it's like, fuck that. She goes, yeah, well, Garcelle and Sutton are both her closest friends, and they just stick up for her. So, I mean, what are you on? What are you on? You guys are so close, and you stay quiet, but it's on me? Come on. It's a joke. Let's go to dinner. I'm done with this shit. So she storms off.
Because Garcelle's reasoning is like, I didn't stand up for her because I was already in an argument with her. But you guys are in a fresh argument with her. So you guys have to deal with your fresh argument before we get to my argument with her. So that's it.
And then Erica is like, well, don't you remember what Sutton did to Kyle? And we get a flashback of this horrible thing that Sutton did, where she asked Kyle to share about her personal life because she's not wearing her wedding ring, which she was purposely not wearing to get people to ask her about her life so that she could cry and freak out that people asked her about her life.
Yeah, exactly. So Erica's like,
Why should Kyle be loyal to Sutton? Explain that to me, Garcelle. What is the rationalization behind this? I'd like to know.
so then everyone, they're now going to start walking off to this beach experience, etc. And they get there and there's like lots of people and vendors and looks really fun. And they're all browsing around, but Sutton's still back at the villa. And she's like, okay, I decided to come to dinner tonight for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I have a very cute outfit that I don't want to waste. Number 2, I will not let these women get the best of me, even though all they do is honestly get the best of me. I'm going to show them that you didn't break me. I'm still here. I am not broken. I am just very lightly taped together with not even good tape, like painter's tape, the kind that just will come off really easily. So at dinner, you'll see me fall apart in a million
I'm going to
pieces.
show these women that I'm strong. And I'm going to do it by walking up to every booth in here and doing this.
And then I'm going to sit at that table and I'll be on the borderline of tears the entire time because that is the manifestation of my strength.
So she is taken down there. Everybody else is shopping. And Jennifer Tilly sees her first and goes and hugs her. And she's like,
I'm in a shopping frenzy. What? Hey, person, what do you have that wards off toxic influences? Sutton needs whatever that is. Oh, I'm sorry. You're making Sutton back away. Okay, we need it to be a little bit less strong than that. I need Sutton to actually be able to stay in the room.
They're like, here's a lava rock. It's like,
No, well, she's actually already pretty much a volcano. Do you have anything maybe more soothing? She's like, okay, Sutton, I'm going to get this for you because it wards off negative energy, and you really need to put it on, and I'm going to get the tiger eye for me. How much is for both of these?
so they
$80,
buy it, and-
by the way. No. You guys need to haggle. They saw you coming from a mile off. $80
Yeah,
for a
they
tiger's
really
eye
did.
necklace. Come on, rip off.
Yeah. So Sutton's like, well, I'm not gonna need a crystal bracelet. I don't need any armor because I'm not planning on fighting tonight. Just almost crying instead.
So Sutton, I went over to go say hi. Wait, I'm sorry. That's not. I'm reading the wrong person.
Is that a person walking by on the beach? Hello, person saying hi
So
to Sutton.
Sutton, I went over to go say hi to Bills, and we walked in the room, and I kind of felt like we were ambushed, you know, and I said, well, Sutton's a little bit upset. She goes, well, why did you say that? I was going to play it cool tonight. I mean, look at me, just playing it cool.
I have to say, Garcelle and Jennifer are kind of riling Sutton up. Every time she comes down, they do. Like, Garcelle was like, well, you seem calm now. Let me just remind you that Kyle didn't have your back. Okay, great. See you tonight at dinner.
I know, but they're also doing what she demands, which is sticking up for her. So they're like, okay, while you were away, here's how we stuck up for you,
So Jennifer's like, well,
stood up.
stood up.
They were all standing there looking at me like, what's going on? And like, they just started saying like, she can dish it out, but she can't take it. And like, she can hear it and everything. And everybody got really riled up.
And Sutton's like, well, what have I dished out? You know what? And then Kyle interrupts. And Kyle's like, and Sutton's like, well, I'm sorry it's difficult for y'all to understand that if I needed to go to a happy place, everybody else wants to talk about me because I can't a girl go up to her makeup chair and be in peace for once in my life, Kyle.
Yeah, but Garcelle and Jennifer Lawless, I don't offend you, so what's that about? And she goes, okay, are we going to sit down and do this, or are you going to attack me right in the middle of a mall? Okay, this is a mall. Okay, do you want to find a St. Lucia Sbarro to yell at me at? Would that make you happier?
I'm just telling you that today, like Erica, like that was her issue with you, and like that, like you'll go after people at their lowest moment. And do you think that's true? The reason I kept my mouth quiet. Do you think that's true? Let me finish.
Do you think that's true?
Wait, hold on. You have to let me finish. Hold on 1 second.
Do you think
there's a
that's true?
fedora over there? I need the fedora. Stop it. I'm an actress. Jamie Lee Curtis. I know her. She won an Oscar, so I won an Oscar. Stop it.
Do you?
I do.
And she's like, why does Sutton have to repeat things? And then we see, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Do you think, 10 seconds earlier. Do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? Do you think that's true?
They can't do name him because they already did it like 10 seconds ago in a different month. Like a lot of the Sutton's greatest hits are coming out. Kyle's like, yes, we do think it's true. Okay, yes, we do think it's true. Yes, we do think it's true. I've got 4 more to go. So, see what I did there? So Kyle's like, what's for me? It was for me last year. I mean, okay, so I didn't speak up on purpose because you're my friend and I loved you and I love you and I didn't want to have to go against you.
Well, I'm here. I am being pummeled. So thanks for being such a good friend, Kyle, who just likes to watch a woman get pummeled by a Sbarro in St. Lucia. Thank you.
Everybody has their moments of being pummeled. She's like, no, 5 years ago. 5 years has been a long time with this group of women. Okay.
And she's like, yeah, but you're not the only person who's gone through moments, okay? And it's like, well, I'm talking about myself right now. Okay. So she's like, oh, wow. So now it's about Kyle. Great. Of course it is. Of course it's about Kyle now. Like she hasn't seen me get pummeled. She hasn't seen me get pummeled. Sorry. If you're too self-absorbed to see this is about me, we have a serious problem.
I mean, Sutton's right. Kyle has gotten heat. There's been confrontations, but Kyle has not been pummeled. Like, Kyle has not had people like Dorit yelled at Kyle this season, but there's not been like the pile on that Kyle has been part of so many different pile-ons over the years. Slut
She could hold up a freeway.
Grammar. Yeah, she could, exactly. But she really has not. She's not had to endure that.
Well, but to hear her say it, she would say, I've been pummeled all season by the whole cast asking me about Morgan. She considers that pummeling.
Questions are different from pummeling. So it's like, I don't want to do this tonight. Kyle. And Kyle's like, well, don't do it tonight. She's like, well, I can't. Well, I will leave, but I can't. She's like, well, don't do it. Well, I'm not in a position right now to do this. Well, then we're not doing it. What are you guys talking about?
She's like, I just don't want every single person on this beach walking up to me and saying, are you okay? And the pop-up Kathy. She's like, you okay? Everything okay, sweetheart?
I'm sick of people asking me if I'm okay. Are you okay? She's like, well, I just don't want to be one of the Barbie dolls and look at the shit and not be
bothered. Damn it! I was gonna say bothered. Why'd you have to finish that line for me, Kathy? Everyone's
Yeah,
doing
she's
things
saying, I
wrong.
just want to be one of these Barbie dolls. Can I just be a Barbie doll for a night? She goes, okay, well, you look like one. She goes, well, thank you. That's all I wanted. Well, happy you came. You know, Barbie had a mental breakdown too, just so you know. I saw the film. She did get a vagina at the end, so that was fun.
So then they all start to gather around. They're doing some more shopping and stuff, and then
I like this line though. When she goes, I just want to be a Barbie tonight. Okay, just pretend that I don't have an IQ of 140. Okay, I'll be dumb enough to
then
hang out with you idiots.
the gal goes up to Bose and she's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I cannot with that situation. She can't hear any form of criticism," says Kyle Richards. Right. Well, so what does she want to do? Does she just want to pretend like nothing happened? That's going to be very awkward, isn't it? If we all are just sitting around pretending it's nothing is the matter, how are we supposed to have fun with that? I mean, the only thing that could be more awkward would be if we all put on enormous wings and had to sit around a tiny table together.
Yeah, Bose is still doing that thing like, what? How could women hang out together and not get along? Okay. So then now they all start to sit at the table, and Kathy asks for bags of ice to put under her armpits because she's so hot. And Dorit's like,
Well, you know where Sutton's mind goes to, we're colluding, because that's her type of behavior. That's the kind of shit she would do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So then Sun's like avoiding going to the table. So she's like loitering at at a vendor, and the vendor's like, here's some sexy oil for the bedroom. She's like, oh, I think I'm good. I don't want to put a lot of oil on me. You know what? I just realized I think I'd rather sit at a table with these women than talk to all these poor people selling trinkets. So goodbye, sir.
I know, I loved how annoyed she was. Sexy oil for the bedroom. Does it make a bed? Then get it the fuck out of my face, poor person. Have some respect.
So Kathy gets her ice, and then they're all sitting there and they're like talking. It's like it gets like quiet at the table. It's awkward, you know.
They're all
Because
staring at
this is-
Sutton. Like, is she
Yeah.
going to do something? Is she going to do something? So she's like, well, place cards are the best thing that can ever happen, because then my options are not to sit across from someone who thinks I kick women when they're down, or next to someone that obviously does not like me. So they change seats so that Sutton doesn't have to be in awkward seating. So that's how it's starting, where Sutton needs the seats changed. So Kathy's like, oh, wow, look, Barbie's here, everybody. I got Barbie to smile. Huh? How's your vagina working, Barbie?
And then a cute waiter comes to take their orders, and then Kyle's like, "Oh my God, Garcelle, you're like, hi, what can I order?" Your eyes are like, so they're like laughing at Garcelle, and Garcelle's like, "Look, my dating life is, I'm not on the apps. If I meet someone through a friend or at Whole Foods or outside my house in Oxnard, which I don't know if you know this, I built a house in Oxnard. You know, I'm open. If he's cute enough, I may have a little fun, but if he's not cute, I'll just have to say no."
Yeah, I'm on the apps. I'm on Instacart because they show a picture of your shopper, and I'm on TaskRabbit, and I'm on DoorDash, and I'm on Uber, of course, you know. So I'm just hoping that it's kind of, you know, you just kind of hope.
Yeah,
One
you
of
never
these
know.
days it'll work out.
Keep on dreaming. So then,
I'm just looking for a man to say, the brownies aren't here, so instead I'm going to get you some Little Debbies. Instead of the brownies aren't here, so I'm refunding that part of your order and just pretending that brownies aren't a necessity.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, no, yeah.
that's not my soulmate.
You need someone who knows how to shop for you. So Kathy excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and then it's just more awkward silence. And then Kathy comes back, and now she's in like a little dress. She goes, "Everyone, I have a little secret. I tinkled in my shorts." They're like, "What?" "Yeah, I tinkled in the shorts."
Kathy, God damn it, sit your ass down. Oh my God. So now they start doing impersonations of her, or of each other. Kyle does a pretty good Jennifer Tilly, and Garcelle does a good.
Kyle's good at
yeah.
imitations in general, by the way. Like that's
Yeah,
her,
she's good
she
at
should
them.
lean into that more, because like that's her most enduring side is when she does imitations.
Yeah, she does good ones. So she did a good one of Jennifer Tilly, and then Garcelle does one of Erica, and hers is just really deep. She's like, Tom's car went over a hill. It snows in Pasadena. I'm going to come for you, bitch.
And then Jennifer Tilly starts doing Sutton. She starts going,
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
and Dorit's like, "Ooh, I spent another long time thinking about this." She's trying to do her like southern accent overlaid over her like pan-European accent that she has.
And it's both Erica and Dorit just going with their southern accents at her. And it doesn't really work as well when you don't like the person. You know what I mean? I think it makes it less good natured. So Sutton gets mad and, she looks like an idiot again because you can't even take it in good fun, So instead she's like,
Nobody talks like this, okay? Nobody talks like that.
And then Kyle's like, Sutton is like really bringing such a negative energy to this. It's like Dorit and Erica's birthday. Like, hopefully we can ignore Sutton in the corner and just enjoy ourselves. But like, once again, Sutton wants to make this all about her. I'm like, well, because they're mocking her.
yeah. Yeah, but she can still lighten up, Sutton. Oh my God. All she had to be was like, oh, that's hilarious, girls. But instead she's like, what a terrible accent.
Sutton could always lighten up. Let's be honest. It's not just at this table. But then we wouldn't have the Sutton that we know and love.
Yeah. So then they sing happy birthday and they're like, we hope you get some tonight. We hope you get some tonight. We hope you get lovely presents. Hope you get some tonight. Like, oh my God, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. So then they get some cake and they find out it's yellow cake. And Sutton's like, I don't want a piece of yellow cake. Thank you.
Sutton, you're going to lose me now. And so, but she just doesn't want the cake because she's protesting. She like doesn't want to contribute to the celebration of these two women that she hates. So Bose is saying that there'll be some activities tomorrow, etc. And they all pretty much just get up and go. And Sutton's like, I did the boat. I showed up for the dinner. I got made fun of. I've had enough. They just like to kick me down or up. I'm being kicked by these women. That's fucking bullshit. Which is funny because she's basically taking Erica's criticism of Sutton and now applying it to them. She's like, they are kicking me when I'm down.
Yeah. So now people are back in their rooms getting ready for the next day. We see Jennifer, Tilly, and Garcelle preparing. It's like let's get clothes on. Oh my God. So then Jennifer Tilly's like,
look at my ring, Scarparelli. Looks like a jellyfish, doesn't it? It was $9 million. It's my vacation jewelry.
I know. It's like, well, you better not lose it. She's like,
Oh, this is a cheapo.
so then over Kathy and Kyle's villa, Kathy is, she greets the resort staff as they bring in breakfast and everything. And then we see Bose and Sutton, Button. They arrive at it. They go to a chocolatier because this is going to be an attempt to bond a little bit. Because Bose is saying how, she Sutton always thinks that there's always distance between them. And she's like, I do believe that Sutton has made a narrative in her head that I am Team Dorit and nobody else. When the truth is, I'm Team Dorit and now a little bit Team Kyle, but mainly Dorit. So she's a little bit incorrect there.
so to prove her wrong, I'm going to have a chocolate making scene where I take everything that she says and take it to Dorit. So let's see how this works.
Yeah, precisely.
So then we go to Jennifer Tilly, and she's like,
Oh, wow. Did you guys order some food? I mean, we've got sunscreen. Wow, this is living. I'm having such a great life. I've gotten to a place in my life where everything is fabulous.
and Kyle's just like, I hate you. Kyle's just like, apparently somebody doesn't have a chair to move from the living room to the dining room.
I know.
She's like, oh, are you our waiter guy? Okay, I hear pina coladas are good for the heat. So could we have some pina coladas? And also the pulled pork sliders and some fish tacos, please?
And Kyle is like horrified that anyone would order this amount of food on this show. So Garcelle's like, well, Kyle, have you posted your thirst trap yet? From Oregon. There, I said it. She's like, no, I'm not feeling that thirsty right now.
Well, my thirst trap is heading to 100,000 likes, and I really figured out what Instagram likes. Nipples!
So we see that photo. And Kyle's like, well, last night was really interesting. And Garcelle's like, well, should we start off in the sweet? She's like, well, first of all, we're all the closest to Sutton. And we love her so much. Guys, don't we love her? God, I have to say, I love Sutton so much. So now everything I say going forward comes from a place of love automatically. Okay. But like, I need you guys to be open-minded that she's a fucking bitch and she's awful and she's like really needy and she's stupid and no one likes her. But I love her so much.
Yeah. So Garcelle's like, well, look, this sounds weird, but in Sutton's story, you're the hero. Why? I don't know.
I've been on the show for 5 years and I still can't figure it out. She's like, but I mean, like, none of us said anything. Like, why am I being singled out here? Like, my God. She's like, well, I think when you don't do it, it hurts more. But why? I don't know. It's a question for Sutton. It literally makes no sense. I mean, look, Jennifer is an Oscar nominee, which is pretty cool. And she's also incredibly wealthy. And I'm famous in my own right. And still, that's not enough for Sutton. So we don't get it. And honestly, at this point, we don't care.
Yeah, and she's like, so Kyle, I wanted to check in with you also. You know, we're talking about Bose calling you and seeing Mo. Does that make you want to do something like, I don't know, lick a vagina?
Well, I don't see the benefit of rushing to get a divorce, at least not before the Knot decides to run a cover story on us again. Garcelle's like, well, like, you're not even rushing to get any information at all? Like, what information? Like, where do I start? Like, all that stuff. And Jennifer's like,
Okay, well, I'm going to tell a story that's going to make you feel really poor. Okay, so I have had lots of friends who've been married to lots of wealthy men, Sutton included, and they're like, oh, been the nicest people in the world. And then all of a sudden the lawyers come in and they do this and that. And my ex, who I loved very much the day he died. And like, when we got divorced, we had $700,000 in the bank. And he's like, I'm going to give you $350,000. And then someone said to me, Jennifer, I think you need to get a divorce lawyer.
Well, did you end up getting more money than the 350?
I got a piece of The Simpsons. I mean, come on, I'm not buying diamonds on Chucky money. The Chucky money just pays for my snacks.
so brilliant. So amazing. You know, some people are like, well, now that Garcelle's leaving, make Jennifer full-time. And then I saw someone else on Twitter say, don't make her full-time, because Jennifer's position as friend of, as someone who's outside and comes in and makes commentary and then drops moments like this is perfect. And I fully agree. I don't want Jennifer, I don't want a situation where we may have to comment about Jennifer's life being boring, or I don't want to have to be in a situation where people are ganging up on Jennifer or she has a bad season. I love Jennifer as she is, and I just want to preserve her in this state.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she's ever going to have, I don't think she's going to get away with people not turning on her. I mean, that's just Housewives role, you know. She'll do, there will be something where she'll say something where people are like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever liked her, for at least 6 months, you know.
That's true. But, and also, you know, she's too popular for Kyle and the group not to turn on her. So
yeah, they'll be trying it with her, and we see them testing the waters in this very episode, and it doesn't really work, but we'll see. So now Dorit and Erica are having breakfast, and Erica's like, wait a minute, is that a waffle? She goes, no, definitely not waffles.
And she said that literally in your accent, your Dorit accent. She was literally like, definitely not. I was like, wow, she's been listening.
So Kathy is just putting creams and potions all over herself and trying to get the mirror to talk back to her, as she does.
Yeah.
So we go back to the chocolatier, and they're learning how to make all of these little chocolates. And then we get to the discussion. Dun, dun, dun. So Buzz is like, so what are your thoughts? And it's like, well, you know, I love that Jackie Kennedy answer. If I told you my thoughts, it wouldn't be my thoughts anymore, would it? She goes, oh, wow, what a bitch. Jackie Kennedy was not joking around, huh?
Well, you know what? I heard what those women said. Oh, with no agreement or disagreement? You just heard? She's like, we've had a lot of discussions. You know, Eric and I have been really getting along, and she showed no animosity to me, and it seemed to come out of nowhere. Oh, really? Because she said it to me before. And then we see flashbacks.
Buzz is like, oh,
Eric.
nope, she's been talking about you this whole season.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been talking shit about you behind your back. And we see footage of that, you know, flashbacks, etc. So Bose is like, so I thought it was actually maybe good that she said it out loud.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad she could get it out. I thought about it, what she said, and I also thought Erica herself was down, and Dorit and Kyle did the same thing that I did and asked questions, the exact same thing. And their husbands even made fun of Erica.
And then we see flashbacks, that scene where Mauricio and Mo are making fun of Erica. And
Yeah.
that there was no repercussions.
It's like there is a strange double standard or triple standard with these women, you know, and Bose doesn't understand our history. So I need to explain it. And so Sutton's like, I've apologized and I'm not doing it again. So then back at the resort, Erica's like, oh, we were just so silly last night, wasn't we? And Dorit says, oh, I was just so frustrated. You know, Sutton is not consistently a beach. Sutton is not consistently mean-spirited. She's not, you know, sometimes she's a decent person. Why do I have black teeth right now? Nobody knows.
Yeah, she's been.
That was weird, right? I was like, were you brushing
Maybe she
with
was doing
charcoal?
Maybe she's doing that like charcoal thing.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And yeah, and Erica's like,
Because the moments when she's absolutely great, and you have the moments, then like, and then you bring it to the table. But like I brought my thoughts to the table, and instead it turned into everyone's being mean to me. It's a pile on. This is a gang up.
and then Dorit's like,
That's her, yeah, and the pouting.
My problem with Sutton is that even when she's apologizing, it's performative. And I feel like it's a sucker punch coming right around the corner. A sucker punch.
So Dorit's like,
Sutton is lacking sincerity, but now it's gotten to a degree I don't trust most of the things that come out of her mouth.
you didn't have any problems with Rinna. I mean, look, Rinna was like probably one of the least sincere people, right? Like,
How are you? So good to see you.
But
Well, it's
whatever,
also
it's fine.
Dorit saying she lacks sincerity when Dorit is sitting there in like $100,000 worth of fake clothes and brands dripping off of her. She's in a house she's pretending to own that is owned by some other company that is now kicking her out because she's bankrupt. I mean, she's one of the fakest people who's ever been on the show. Girl, you're saying this line with 10 different accents that aren't yours. Could you please stay away from insincerity allegations, ma'am?
So back to the chocolatier.
Lady
Sutton
who got
is-
$10,000 stolen from the Home Goods. I mean the dollar store. I mean the Best Buy.
So Sutton's like, back at the chocolatier, Sutton's like, I've had to have a come to Jesus moment. Oh, with who? Yourself? Yes. Me and Jesus.
Guess what? Jesus pummeled me. But that's it.
And I had to say, look, this is hard. I had to remember that both of those girls have gone through right now. And then I have to look at where I am in my life, a lady who has a tiny boutique that may or may not be open somewhere in West Hollywood. And that must be hard for them to look at.
So we see, let's see, what do we see here? So she's
basically,
just like,
Bose
I'm
is
done.
like, "Oh,
Sorry, I was in a
girl."
different part. She's like, I'm done. And yeah, when she's like, it's just so difficult, where you've got these people. And I just think, look at these poor women who can never be me. That must be hard on them. And Bose is like,
I don't think so.
yeah, I don't know that they're jealous of you. She's like, what wouldn't they be jealous of? What wouldn't they? Name one thing. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm done with this conversation.
I just think the allegiance from Kyle goes to those two, and it always will, to be honest. So it's like, yeah, you see it, Sutton. So stop chasing it. You know where Kyle's loyalties are, and what you have to do is have a moment where you say, fuck this bitch. Fuck this fake bitch who acts like she's going to have my back, and she never does. And at the end of the day, she's always going to be, you get nothing for nothing. I'm sorry I did it. But at the end of the day, she is always going to have those two women's backs. And so stop trying to chase it and just make your own happiness.
So then back to Erica and Dorit. Erica's like, well, whatever you're going through, she's going through. Okay, fine. Well, what made me angry was when Miss Jennifer Tilly said it was coordinated. And Dorit's like, oh, she felt like it was coordinated, really. Just a bunch of excuses. So you should say something tonight, you too. All right, let's do it. Not coordinated at all. Not at all.
Okay, I'll start, and then you come in, and then if you're going too long, I'll butt in and I'll say something, and then you say something also, and I actually wrote out some note cards, and you could just study those, and if things get really bad, we can bring in a teleprompter. Great.
So now they're getting ready for Carnival, and Bose has arranged for them to all have these crazy outfits, big feathered showgirl outfits for Carnival. So they're putting them all on, and this part was so fucking funny, watching all these ladies put these on. The most horrific part was when Dorit's hairdresser tells her to twerk, and Dorit does it. I've never seen
Quote,
an
unquote,
ass
does it.
clap that little. I mean, I've never seen that happen.
Was it like, I'm not even sure if it was an ass clap. I mean, it was just kind of like, she was just doing like weird squats or something like that.
Yeah, she did some squats.
It was just like an up and down. It wasn't really a twerk. It was more like a blurk. It was just,
It was not
just-
good. And this is
Yeah.
why you never trust your hairdresser, because her hairdresser was like, oh my God, yes, icon,
Yes,
nailed it.
So Bose is saying that they're celebrating Carnival tonight, because it's such a huge thing in the Caribbean and beyond. And so they're just going to celebrate it, and so they're all putting on different outfits and different levels of undress, depending on how comfortable they are. So Erica was basically wearing bare minimum, and she looked fucking amazing. And then Kathy was funny because she basically had like a caftan on, and she had her wings on at the same time. But it all worked. It actually was all kind of great. But they all didn't. They were not in a space that was made for the wings because they all had to like walk sideways through hallways and through doors, and they were like,
The shit was so
"How do we
funny
do
when they
this?"
all walked up to the dinner table and they were like, "How are we going to sit down?" But they did, and then they all sat down and they just showed what the table looked like from the outside, and it was just pure feathers.
I know.
Like walls of crazy feathers.
You know, the producers were like, "We're never doing this again. We cannot get good shots," because they couldn't shoot through people's shoulders. They just had to stick a camera at the one end of the table and just like hope for the best. You know,
So funny.
it was amazing. Oh yeah. It was a good
Okay,
time.
so they did that, and then Jennifer. I'm just fast forwarding to get. To
I know,
this
me too. I'm like,
okay, so they get some rum
feather,
punches, and they're cheersing to their final night and all that. And Jennifer is complimenting Kathy on her rhinestones, and she goes,
Well, you need to take those feathers to the next Rockefeller ball or something.
and Kathy goes, actually, I don't know if they approve. Like, wow, so the Rockefellers are anti-carnival, or
Yeah, there was something sort of there was a subtext there that I think that maybe we all picked up on, right?
yeah, or like do they shoot birds? I mean, what's their deal?
I'm not sure. So I'm still, by the way, I'm still scrolling through so much of this feather shit.
So
you
Erica's
just
like,
keep on going.
Well, everybody.
So everyone's getting along. So Erica's like, well,
Well, it is the finale. Wearing feathers. Let's fucking do this, right, bitches? Okay. I have a question. I heard about Dorit and I planning this thing on the boat. Who's saying it? Is it you, Jennifer Tilly? Or is it you, Garcelle Above?
I was like, oh, Erica, what a badass. Wow, you're really gonna get somebody to confess to something horrible. So Jennifer Tilly's like,
Well, listen, if I feel bad if it made you feel bad, Erica. You know, yesterday people were saying, what's going on with Sutton? And, you know, we were just sort of, here's how it appeared. That's all I meant to say. She goes, well, when I went to it today, it was very calm, very adult conversation.
No. And then Erica's like,
But because of the history, because I want to sincerely move on, and I believe you do too.
because Erica's doing the intense articulation.
I believe you do too. You do too. You want to move on as well. So it's like, yes, I do want to move on from this table. All these feathers are very agitating to me. She's like, well,
but also this is kind of unfair because Erica's confronting her about what happened last night and being like, how dare you say that? And then she's saying, well, Sutton didn't feel that way. Well, Erica went to see her today, and we see a clip of Erica going to visit her and saying,
Oh, well, your friends, Garcelle and Jennifer, said that we did this to you on purpose. Is that true?
and she's like, well, I can speak to what they said. And she goes,
Well, I'm asking you right now. Did you know that? Do you know that was being said or not?
like, what kind of mystery is this, Erica? It's so stupid. And Sutton's like, no, I didn't know that at all. So Sutton's not really standing up for her friends either. But Sutton should have
She
said,
isn't, but
yeah,
also,
my
like-
feelings were hurt by that whole thing. And I told them, and they went and stood up for me. It's not that big of a deal.
but also like, why is Erica being so aggro about this point? Why doesn't she just sit there and say, listen, I want to talk about yesterday. I know that there's some of you believe that what Dorit and I did was a coordinated attack. I know it may have looked like that. And I just want to let you know it was not coordinated. And even if it were coordinated, I wouldn't even be embarrassed about it being coordinated because we both feel the same way about the same thing. And it's okay for two people to feel the same way. And I said something about how I felt. So I just want you to know, though we were not coordinating to try to make her feel like shit. I was just saying my piece.
Well, she
Like,
can't
that's
do
not
it
to
that
but
way.
she was-
She
Yeah,
can't do it
so
that
she's
way
like,
because
"Who
that's what
said
she
it was
does.
coordinated?"
No, she makes
Yeah.
it to where she makes it to where you're questioning something else. Like, it's not about what she said; it's about what people accused her of how she said it. Or it's not about the crimes Tom committed; it's that people questioned her. You know, so she's always
Exactly.
changing the framing of it to yell at somebody else for her own bullshit. But Sutton's not helping here either. Sutton's not standing up for her friends at all because she just wants Erica to be nice to her. So she's like, I have no idea why they would do that. It's like, fuck off, Sutton. Sutton's not a good friend. I'm sorry.
It is kind of wild that they would not show a whole scene with Erica and Sutton because they had a huge fight and clearly this was maybe a moment to make amends, and they just only show a clip of it in a flashback. It's a little odd. So Erica's like,
Listen, I don't care where it came from. I don't care how it resolves. It's important that you look at me and you hear what I'm saying. That was not a coordinated attack, and that's all. And thank you for listening.
my TED Talk is over. Gosh. So Garcelle's like, well, let me just say this. Erica Jane, you and I are building our friendship, and I appreciate it. And we've come a long way. And you said you don't believe You don't believe it, but we have. And Garcelle's basically saying how she's trying to focus on having better relationships with these women. And obviously that doesn't really work out because she's like, bye, leaving the show.
Yeah, so she's going to concentrating on not only being friends with Sutton this next year, which is out the window already. So Bose is so proud. And she's like, I feel like we're about to take wedding vows. Ha ha. And Erica's like,
Clearly, I'm not ever doing that again. I love you. But no.
Listen, is this a toxic sisterhood? Yes. But at the end of the day, we can come together. We can have laughs. We can be silly and support each other no matter what. And then we can also realize, because it is a toxic sisterhood, why the fuck are we here? Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, America. I'm out.
And so we see them party at Carnival and dance in their outfits and stuff. And Trixie's singing, watch me go, go, go. Oh, watch me go, go, go. And then Kyle starts, there's fire dancers, and then it starts raining. And Kyle's like, I love the rain. And
Almost like
I
I love
love you
shopping.
guys. It's just all like so happy and sisterhood. And dun, dun, dun.
So here are the exciting things happening in people's lives. Garcelle continues to call the shots on her sets, but her favorite new role is grandma to Oliver's new daughter, Valley, which, you know what? I just feel like Valley is a curious name. Like, you know the phrase peaks and valleys?
Yeah.
You know what
It's
the,
like
the better part of that phrase is?
Yeah.
Have you been to, also it's kind of like Los Angeles, you know?
This is kind of a defeatist name, you know, especially if you give them a sibling and name it Peak.
Bose. Over the last year, I have found a lot about myself, how to navigate outside the corporate world and outside the corporate rules, and how to deal with an assistant who loves to bedazzle everything in sight. These are the groups of women are interesting individually, and friends I'm excited to get to know better.
Yeah, okay. So then we see her as Bose has started her fertility journey with Keely, choosing the natural route. Girl, I will eat an ice cream sandwich if you ever get pregnant with a baby on purpose with Keely. This is not happening. I'm not buying this for 2 seconds, and I refuse to even pretend anymore. No.
And Keely finally said, I love you, so that's nice.
Wow.
Sutton.
A full 4 months after you started trying to have children for him. Yeah, great.
Yeah, great.
Sounds great.
Hey, I've learned something. I've learned that I can be kind of a jerk. I can be a better friend, a better daughter, change anything from this year. It would probably be, if I would change anything, it'd probably be my relationship with Dorit. I wish I'd handled it better. As in, I wish I'd called her a fucking bitch instead of just a bitch. Oh, well.
And her wrap up is Sutton and Dorit's their relationship remains on ice. It's so chilled that Sutton actually drank it. But hey, she's getting along with her mom, so that's good.
When I get home, I just know I have to have a conversation with Mauricio and decisions will have to be made. And if I'm not going to be married to Mauricio, I have to have a great life with someone. I don't know who it is, but I'm going to stand in the wings of a concert until I figure out who that lucky person is.
And this is all bullshit because she does not break up with Mo either. Kyle and Mauricio continue their stalemate over their next steps, and Kyle remains open to love in her life while hopefully avoiding the paparazzi that she calls.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Dorit's big wrap up. Dorit, take it away.
Well, I'm a hell of a lot chiffer than I thought I was. I want to focus my attention not in places filled with toxic energy, not in friendships, and not in my marriage. I want peace. I want a penis. I deserve it. And I'm going to fight for it.
Dorit and PK currently have no plans to rekindle their relationship, but they are working on co-parenting better, and Dorit is considering filtering PK's emails to her junk folder. That was a nice season finale, and then it goes 1 month later. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't even know
Bravo
there was
show.
a-
That's how we roll now. We can't just
We're picking
end
up the
it.
cameras. So now
Yeah.
we have the most. Listen, I enjoy picking up the cameras when there's a real scandal, but now this is not a pick up the cameras moment. This is something that can be covered in the reunion. So 1 month later, so Garcelle. Actually, I'm glad that this happened because something very great happened. So first we see Garcelle with Oliver and the kids. Who cares? And then we see Bose doing yoga. Who cares? And then, most importantly, Sutton goes into her backyard, and there is a dead rat lying by her pool in the most dead rat position on its back, like, oh, and she's like, no, 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 no. It's like that cat.
No, 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 no,
No, no, no, Avi, they're gonna eat it. No, 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 no.
And the dogs are
this
just
rat-
up there sniffing it. And she's like, no, 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 no.
Just seeing Sutton having to interface with a dead rat is so amazing. I was like, okay, it was all worth it.
So then we go to Erica's house, and she's like, look at me, one of you now. My poor tiny little house eating ice cream like a poverty-stricken hooker. Here we go. Watch me eat some ice cream. And then she reads on her phone. On August 27th, Tom Girardi, my husband, was found guilty of embezzlement. And then she looks away, and it's supposed to look like she's emoting, but she really does look like a robot with spinning beach ball in its eyes, like,
I would never, could never.
I never saw this coming. Really? Do you not read articles or see headlines for 4 years? I mean,
or
I'm
check
assuming
your
she meant,
own
like-
docket of lawsuits, you fucking weirdo.
I mean, I'm assuming she meant like previously in her relationship. She goes,
Tom was loved. He was admired. All the judges paid for his meals. They just loved him so much. And he was accomplished. And this is how his story ended. I don't know that I will ever get over that.
Yeah.
oh, well, I'm so
Thought
sorry.
you
Erica.
thought you'd get away with it, sucker, and you did, actually. She's kind of the hero of the story because she actually got away with everything. So then Kyle comes in, and she's like, wow, this place is so nice. This place is so cheap.
Wow,
is that wallpaper?
That's great. So cool. So Kyle says that Erica has proven to be a loyal friend time and time again. So Kyle is saying, I knew this would be a hard... Kyle's so dumb. She goes, I knew this would be a hard day for Erica. And, you know, as soon as I heard about this, you were the first person I thought of. It's like, really? When you heard about Erica's husband going to jail, you thought about Erica? Wow. You really... The way your mind works. I wish I could get a tour of it. It's amazing. that you were able
I
to
saw
connect
that
those two
headline, and
concepts.
I immediately thought, how is Jamie Lee Curtis dealing with this? So she said to bring you a wind chime. Hope you like it.
So Erica's like,
Terrible. Right before the verdict, I was doing so good. You know, I was looking at wallpaper, thinking about wallpaper, talking about wallpaper, and I was feeling so good about it. And then the next day, it was like, I just wanted to sleep. I didn't want to go back to that dark, terrible place when these walls didn't even have wallpaper on them.
I realized if these walls could talk, they'd say, please stop singing inside. And that hurt. That hurt. It hurt me deeply. But, you know, I've gone into all signs of depression. I'm eating one bite of ice cream at a time. I'm sleeping late. I'm trying to fuck cannibals in my neighborhood again. All the self-destructive things that I was doing back a couple of years ago. And it made me think, wow, what hard times.
And then she keeps looking off into space and trying to cry. But she is just ice, this chick. She is just ice. And it's hilarious that they're like, hey, let's end the season by having Erica be vulnerable. And she just can't do it.
can't. It's like, actually, it winds up being a deeply uninteresting scene. She's like,
My drinking, my medication. It was all this pressure, and I thought, oh my God, it's happening again. It's happening. I feel like I'm being dragged down into the underneath. Oh God. But I'm actually fine. So anyway, he was convicted of 4 counts of wire fraud, and it's like 80 years or some shit. I don't know. He doesn't even have 80 days in him. Good luck, motherfucker. I mean, I'm sad.
He's now being represented by public defenders, and she doesn't speak to him. And you know, this whole thing, like, we give Erica so much shit, but I have to keep, because you won't even call Tom or go see Tom. I mean, I know there's legal cases and stuff going on, but that man kind of stole all the money and funneled it into your stuff. The least you could do is like check in on him. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's just saying this because he's she doesn't want to get in trouble with. I mean, I don't know, but
I mean, look,
that
I
seems
will.
cool to me.
I'm not gonna be a total dick, even though I'd like to be a total
I
dick.
will be.
The
You,
truth
let me
is-
do
the
it.
truth
Put
is
it
if
on
you're
me.
with no, but look, you're in a relationship with someone for 20 years. You know, I will acknowledge that it is sad to see this person that was like your life. Now they're just sort of this is like their epilogue. It is sad from her perspective to see it. For the rest of us, like, whatever. He was a fraudster. So it is what it is, you know. But so she's like,
It's not over for me, and it's not over. I still have shit in front of me that he put me through. This experience with this man, well, it was great. The ending is not okay, and for many reasons. My feeling of sadness, my feeling of being overwhelmed, my feeling of loss, those were very real. And I don't have to apologize for my feelings because no one lived in that house but the two of us.
There were good times, there were bad times.
You know, she's doing that whole thing. And so Kyle's like, I hope you know that I'm always here for you as long as you keep yelling at Garcelle for me. And she's like,
I do know that.
now,
I do.
who are we
Kyle.
talking about again? Who is this?
I know. Kyle does like a look because Erica keeps doing these monologues of like,
The best of times, the worst of times. I had it all. It all fell. There was a wall. There was a wall breaker.
and Kyle, you just see Kyle staring off into space like, I wonder how bees are made.
Kyle being a shitty friend is one of my favorite things. Just not listening. Wait, you never told me that you were married? She does that thing all the time.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
you
so-
never told me that Tom was in trouble?
Yeah.
Wait, Tom's in
Who's
jail?
Tom?
Did you tell me this?
Who's Tom?
Are you sure you
dating
told me? You never told me that.
Erica's like,
Well, the hard part is over. And Kyle, I want to tell you this right now, woman to woman. You and I have a unique opportunity to be a different version of ourselves right here, right now. We've had to walk through a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of lesbianism. Am I right? Sorry, I had to try it.
Kyle's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, she basically is like, now we can reinvent ourselves. It's a safe space. Are you a lesbian? That's what this is about.
Do you want
That
to
is about Tom.
And she's like,
I'm going to have some fucking fun. We deserve to have some fucking fun.
actually, you don't really deserve to have some fucking fun. But I have to credit you for having as much fun as you've had over the past few years, because I think that could have killed. I think what Erica went through, whether I believe it's partially her fault, I do, or not, I think that the getting caught and all of that, I think that would have killed most people. But Erica's like, fuck it. Let's do a show in Vegas and go back to Broadway and party our fucking asses off, you know? And I have to credit her for that resilience, because not everybody has that.
And you know what? She's right. It is time for her to have some fun. You know, after all that, the misery and the boredom and the lack of joy that was in St. Lucia, or before that, when they went off to, I don't know, to like London, or, you know, all these international trips. Ugh, what a drain. Time to have fun, right? all her day-to-day activities, having to go to her not 9 to not 5 job. When is she finally going to be able to have fun?
I know. That's just what Erica needs. Just a relaxing, fun life. So Kyle goes, yeah, you know what I mean. You know what? The world is our oyster. Kyle, really? Now you're just leaving yourself open.
And then Erica goes, the world is literally our oyster. No, the world is literally not an oyster. It's figuratively an oyster. I'm just going to say that right now. Don't emphasize that it's literally an oyster, because it's disgusting. We all have hepatitis now.
I love that
That's
Kyle
it.
just left us with the most lesbian imagery of all time to end this season. But don't talk about
like-
lesbianism, please.
The world is our clam bake. So
The world is a
anywho,
pink taco.
The world is a Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
All the world's a stage at Lilith Fair. All right, everybody. We sure love you. Thanks for being with us this season. We'll be here for the next month doing the Festivus of
Best of us.
Best of Us reunion episode. So join us for that. Join us on Patreon for White Lotus recaps and airport snaps, airport recaps, and also videos. And come get tickets for DC and Philly this week, and all of our shows coming up in the next couple of months over at watchwhatcrappens.com. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.